Hi, Gemini. So, I did a little meditating and started pulling your cards. Jesus Jesse, Gemini, like, not gonna lie. There was a few what the actual fucks when I was pulling these cards. Do you see how many cards are here? Like, double what I normally pull for a monthly reading. But because I love you guys and I didn't do a birthday reading for you guys, and quite frankly all the cards are putting together or painting such a good picture, I really had no choice but to go with all of them. So we are going to power through this and hope that we're not here for a month of Sundays. So Gemini, we'll start out with your affirmations deck, which is the overall guidance, the theme, the general advice for the month of July 2018. Don't take it personally. Sometimes people are just assholes. Or they're super stressed, you know, like you never know what somebody's going through. And sometimes you're just the unlucky recipient of them needing to let out some of their frustrations or blow off some steam. When this happens, you just have to realize that it's something they're going through, and chances are you didn't really cause the situation that is causing this stress, and go forward from there. In a sense, let it roll off your back, which you guys aren't always the greatest at, so it's going to be kind of like a goal. Courage. Be courageous and fearless. Being courageous and fearless are two totally separate things. Most often it's like finding your inner courage is what helps you overcome your fears. So in July, don't feel insecure or negatively about having fears. Instead, do what the card says. And the card says, no one is fearless. No one. But even though I'm not fearless, I am courageous. When fear shows up, I don't run away from it. I use my courage to conquer it. My courage allows me to walk right up to that fear and kick it in the nuts. Then, quickly hide behind someone bigger until it goes away. Worthiness. Gemini, you're like the catch-all. Always the catch-all. For like the random, the negative, and sometimes maybe not near as often as it should be, you're also the catch-all for the good. This month, you need to stand in your firm understanding and knowing that you are worthy. Even though you've been the catch-all for a lot of shit, and a lot of hurdles, and a lot of pain, and a lot of what the fucks. This month, you're gonna let those go. Your past does not define your future. And in your future, you are going to fully believe that you are worthy of everything that you've wanted for so long. And once you understand how worthy you are, and you've kicked a few people in the nuts, and you've let the rest roll off your back, you come up on this ideal partnership. Let me ask you, Gemini, do you feel like you would like really honestly be able to say that you're a great catch? Seriously. A man or a woman who knows who they are and they are confident that they deserve the legit, happy, loving, honest, balanced relationship that you desire, they are normally the ones that you're jealous of. But it's because they have worked through all of those deep, dark shadows that haunt you. And they've come to the realization that they are who they are because of X, Y, and Z. They've let them go, they've healed, and they've moved on, they've raised their vibration, and now they've stepped into genuine happiness and love and understanding and respect. Reciprocating. No more of this unrequited love bullshit. Which brings me to my next point of, I'm getting a little lecture-ish, and I'm sorry, I just am real passionate about this apparently, but if you don't currently love yourself, Gemini, the last place you want to be is out looking for a future partner. Because you attract the same people that you're looking at in the mirror. Your vibe, your vibration, your frequency is going to match who you attract. So, think about all the things you say or think about yourself. Slap that on a picture of your dream man or woman. Do they look as attractive, as desirable? Nope, they shouldn't. If they do, they shouldn't. No. That burning desire that you have to feel confident in yourself, to feel like you genuinely believe that you're a good person, that you are attractive, that you are lovable. That's what you want to work towards, so that way your partner can also feel those same feelings. Otherwise, it's going to be like two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl. We know how that song goes. From your spirit guides, you have the Answering the Call and Talking Stick cards. Native Spirit deck, still my favorite. Answering the Call. How often do you find yourself saying one day or someday when you're talking about doing the things that you truly want to do, or experiencing the things that you truly want to experience, or feeling the way that you really want to feel? Now is that time. Far too often we get caught up in all of the some days and the one days and the maybes and the ifs and the what ifs. Not anymore, Gemini. You are done forgetting to live in the moment and experiencing life, because pretty soon life is going to pass you by and you're going to wonder what the fuck happened and where is your happiness. Now is the time to make that happen. Talking stick. So your soul can also be relabeled as, just say, like your gut. Your soul, your gut, whatever, is most balanced when you're able to speak honestly, speak fearlessly, confidently, like straight from the heart. Quit holding back and denying yourself happiness just because you're too scared to say what you really want to feel, or too scared to ask for what you really want. If that fear is based out of loneliness or resentment or pride, whoever is meant to be with you is going to be with you. Whatever situation you are meant to be in, you will be in. Wherever you are at in this world is where you're supposed to be. So you speaking your truth might speed up the process of figuring out who the weeds are and who the flowers are, but it's going to happen one way or the other. So do you want to spend your days watering weeds, or you want to get those out of the picture so that way you know you're putting all your time and effort into something that's going to actually be a flower? I don't care how pretty the weeds are, they're still weeds. How many times has your kid brought you a dandelion and they're like, oh, it's so beautiful? Yep, it is. It's still a weed. And isn't it funny how fast your yard can fill up with dandelions when the wind comes up? How come your yard doesn't fill up with flowers when the wind comes up? Because they require real work, real dedication. Not just a fly by the seat of your pants or by the midnight hour effort. No, real work. So in the native traditions, getting back to this talking stick card, in the native traditions, they would sit around and as they were talking in their circle, they would pass around this very sought after, very highly respected stick that was decorated in different items that were highly respected in their native culture. And when a person was speaking, they had that stick in their hand. And it kind of made them just stop and realize, hey, if I'm gonna be holding something that is so respected, so highly worshipped, I better make what I say count, and it better be straight from the heart. So I'm not saying go walk around holding a stick all day long if you're going to be talking, but be mindful of what comes out of your mouth. Is it honest? Is it from your heart? Is it necessary? In your work, career, and finance. This is where I started to say, oh, how cute, Gemini, so much like you. Do you guys notice if you split the cards right down the middle, it is completely symmetrical? Kind of like twins, kind of like Gemini. You guys were so present in this reading when I was going through and shuffling the cards. I was like, well, if this isn't meant to be. Strength. Mind over matter. So here we go with my imagery. Better sit down for this if you're not already, because it's a good one. Alright, so you're arm wrestling someone. You guys got like a crowd on each side of you. It's the best 2 out of 3, and it's the 3rd round. And as you're just about to finish off your opponent and like lay the hammer down, there's this loud, hair-raising, blood-curdling scream across the room, and the lights go out. You think you're going to be distracted and potentially forget that you were just about to win best 2 out of 3 arm wrestling? Amateur version, pro version, whichever, you know. Probably. Not to mention you probably pissed yourself, but, you know. Fact remains, you still took your eye off the ball, right? So what if there was a mosquito flying around you at the same time and there was no blood-curdling scream or the power goes out? Do you think the mosquito's gonna distract you if it's, you know, flying in your face? Probably. So, no matter the size of the distraction, the point is that you have to be mindful of where you put your focus and your dedication and your strength. Put it where it counts. Page of Cups. So there's this lady, Margot Fontaine. She's a fellow Gemini. She was this very highly renowned ballerina. Yeah, ballerina. I'm using ballerina as an example in your reading. Get over it. But because of her dedication, her talent, her accomplishments, she was appointed this huge position by Queen Elizabeth II. And she was quoted as saying, "The one important thing I've learned over the years is the difference between taking one's work seriously and taking oneself seriously. The first is imperative, the second is disastrous." So Gemini, know the difference. Two of Swords. Are you currently a sitting duck, waiting for someone else other than you to make a decision that's going to affect your life? No matter how big or small it is. Has something to do with maybe your overall well-being. Something you totally don't have a say in. Sometimes it's important to remember that it's not all about you and that there has to be give and take, and that's totally going to require some patience. So while you're being a sitting duck, you could practice your arm wrestling skills, I suppose, or decorate your talking stick. Or you could work on your courage, clear out your negative thoughts, get rid of the clutter. Next up is the World. So I think you can see that card pretty good. Do you see how the person in the middle, do you see how free they look? Like they're weightless, like they're just floating, but yet they have everything they could actually possibly need, ever want at their fingertips. You wanna know how they got like that? Somebody drew them on a card, first of all. Second of all, because they learned to ask for help. They learned how to delegate. They realized how fabulous it felt to have some of the weight lifted off from their shoulders. And they didn't have to have the weight of the world on their shoulders to enjoy the world. There's a concept. Love and relationships, Gemini. I would love to say we're moving on up, but nope. We're about to continue on with the preachy message here, beating a dead horse or dog or something. But here's what we got. Money and Archangel Raphael. So for the money card, do the best with what you have. There's always going to be options, and there's always going to be a way out. You just have to ask yourself, how bad do you want it? How bad do you really want to be out from under whatever burdens you have? The more you want it, the more options there are going to be that maybe you didn't necessarily consider as options before. Archangel Raphael. Raphael means God heals. So those of you who dream of becoming or have already become healers or doctors, etc., you can find comfort in knowing that there's someone to take the reins and heal you in your love and relationship perspective. Maybe there's comfort in knowing that you have the choice to replace doubt and negativity with forgiveness and love. Maybe that brings healing. And as you do that, you progress into your 2 spirit animals for the month. 2, yeah. The butterfly and the wolf. I'm going to start with the wolf. This is actually the first time that I had ever read this card. I've never pulled this one before, and I really like it. And coincidentally enough, it's pretty similar to the butterfly. So wolves are all about being with their pack. Like, not only because it's there's power in numbers and whatever, strength in numbers, but even more so because there's power in being with people who are like-minded and have similar perspectives and goals and mindsets. It's kind of like your vibe attracts your tribe. Being around people who you feel comfortable and safe, or free of judgment, can be literally life-changing, Gemini. Sometimes as you go through this journey of self-discovery, and soul enlightenment, you outgrow or outvibe relationships, and that's okay. That means you're healing, you're ascending. As I started out on this journey, that was one of the most difficult things, was having to admit to myself that there were certain relationships in my life that were no longer serving me. They did not have equal energy exchange. They did not make me feel good. And that's okay, because it is essentially a pat on the back that says, hey, keep going. We got this. You wouldn't pick that weed because it was kind of pretty, so you left it there. We got it for you, don't worry. So just like I said with the outgrowing relationships with the wolf, farther down the path of this awakening that you are on, the farther down you get, you have to realize that there's going to come a point where you have no choice but to admit you are not who you once were. That means a whole new world of opportunities. Those chains of the past can only undergo so much pressure before they snap. And you are going to put so much pressure on them because you are going to keep trucking right ahead. Big wheels keep on turning, right? So as you are being proud Mary, you're going to be thankful that you aren't continuing to deny yourself of all the things that are available to you now. Like if the butterfly would have stayed in the cocoon because it was too scared to break free, it would have never ever been able to experience how amazing it was to use its wings, to see all the new perspectives, the whole world from a new perspective. See the world, Gemini. Allow yourself to see the world from a new perspective. Use your wings. Let your big wheels keep on turning. Let your vibe attract your tribe. And if you don't like the tribe that it's attracting, then maybe you should work on your vibe. And just know that you guys are going to be fucking rock stars that are actually living, not just talking about, but living their life to its fullest potential if you just keep working on all this other stuff. Sure, it's every aspect of your life right now. Great. If you had a choice between being pregnant 4 times or having 4 at once, fuck. I'd rather have 4 at once. Like, at least you just go crazy one time. So, sometimes crazy is beautiful, Gemini. Be beautiful. I'll see you in August.